Welcome to Neophyte.tv, the technology show for the not-so-geeky. My name is Ben Friedman, and today we have a special treat on the show. I have my brother, Dan, with me from Hawaii. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure.
You're the second member of the family to be on the show. My dad was on the show reviewing a watch.
I remember the second.
He's a clock repairman, and so he reviewed the watch, and now we have you on the show. Now, you are an RVing maniac. You RV across the country a lot.
Yes.
I know, which is always interesting how you get from Hawaii to here on RV.
You just have to really go off of Diamond Head Crater at a bit of an angle. And
make sure the windows are rolled up.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So I know that a frustration of yours has been Wi-Fi access at these RV parks.
Yes.
And you mentioned to me you have a solution. Tell me about it.
Well, it used to be that you wouldn't have wouldn't have Wi-Fi at the campgrounds at all.
No RV, no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi at the campgrounds at all. Over the last few years, it's got better and better and better, but unfortunately, more and more people have realized it's got better, and so they've started to use it more, and it gets slower and slower. So it's always nice if you can bring your own.
Let me just mention that it's the same with hotels. I don't know if you noticed this, but whenever we travel and we stay at hotels, it used to be when they first got Wi-Fi or internet access of any kind, when you logged on, you got pretty decent connection. I mean, now, even at the good hotels like the Hilton or even the businessy ones like Holiday Inn Express, you log on now, it's like 56K dial-up.
I think BitTorrent has ruined everything.
At the hotels even?
At the hotels as well as the campgrounds, that's for sure.
Wow. Well, I guess I should stop doing all the BitTorrent at the hotel.
It's you?
It might have been me.
Why am I not surprised?
I've got to get the latest issue of Entourage. What are we going to do? Anyway,
okay, moving on.
So what are we talking about?
We are talking about the MiFi 2200. This one happens to be from Verizon.
Yeah, if you can hold it about level with your head, that's perfect.
This one happens to be from Verizon, although there is an equivalent unit from Sprint. I'm just going to kind of twist it around here. It's a little bigger than a credit card and probably about as thick as 4 or 5 credit cards. And what it does is it gives you
small
Wi-Fi access through the cellular modem. So basically it's a cell phone without a loudspeaker and a microphone, and it's only good for data. But
so it's a cell phone, so it connects like a cell phone to Verizon, but instead of a phone number, you don't have a phone number on it, but it connects to the internet.
That's right, yeah. You just push the on-off button, and that's all there is. There's really only one control on here, on and off. And the idea is that you just push that on button, you set it down in your hotel room or in your campground, in your RV, whatever, and then it's got a built-in Wi-Fi router which will support up to 5 computers. And they all just connect as if you were at home, connecting through your wireless access
And you can set up a password just like you do at home.
It supports all the security features.
And well, so that's great. So Verizon has the fastest network, I think, in the country right now, as opposed to my poor old iPhone that's fairly slow. So you put this on the table, you connect, and now you're connecting at the fast Verizon speeds.
Yeah, that's right. And those speeds can be, in metropolitan areas, 700 or 800 kilobits per second download, 300 or 400 kilobits per second upload. So it's not bad at all.
Actually, it doesn't sound... I thought it was over a megabit now on Verizon, or is that theoretical?
That may be the theory. That's just not what I've been seeing.
All right.
The further away you get from a major metropolitan center...
Such as when you're maybe RVing.
Such as when you're in a campground out in the mountains. You know, that speed can go down a lot, and it can go down all the way to... about 100 kilobits per second download, which, you know, let me tell you, it beats not being connected at all
for
when
email,
you've got something to do.
You're not going to watch a lot of YouTube videos at that speed. But,
that's right. Now, interesting issue. The plan for this costs about $60 a month, which is the same, I believe, as the Sprint plan. Most of the data plans are about $60 a month.
Right.
There's a 5 gigabyte download limit.
Wow.
It may be download and upload, I'm not sure. But
so you really don't want to be downloading the YouTube videos because you'll chew through that
You
very
cannot
quickly.
be doing your BitTorrents over this, at least not for very long. That's right.
Wow.
In fact, even without doing BitTorrents, my wife and I have just spent a week in Disney World in a campground that didn't have its own Wi-Fi. We used this exclusively. It worked pretty well, although I'll tell you about some problems later. But we found that we were pretty close to the 5 gig just in ordinary web surfing.
You can check it then. There's a meter somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get to these problems so we don't run too long here.
Okay. There's 2 ways of using this. In one way that you use it, it works perfectly. The other way, not so well. The way it works absolutely perfectly is where you don't use the Wi-Fi part. You just plug a USB cable into the bottom. There's a little mini USB cable connection here, and you hook it up to your computer. If you do that, it works very well.
That's like buying a USB USB card or a
Yes.
PC card that would go inside your computer.
That's right.
It's basically the same functionality.
That's right, and it will go all day for that. It's powered by the USB, and the speed is very good, and the connectivity is very, very good there. Where it doesn't work so well, in my experience, is when you're using it for what I think is its real selling point, which is that it can give you that cellular data access wirelessly through Wi-Fi. And what happens is that it loses the cellular connection every few minutes, and then
Not the Wi-Fi
picks it up.
connection.
Not the Wi-Fi connection.
So the Wi-Fi
cellular
connection is rock solid to your computer.
That's right. It loses the cellular connection, and in doing so, it reconnects almost immediately. So if you're web browsing or checking email, maybe not such a big deal, but it logs you right out of all your instant messaging.
And if you're downloading a file,
if you're doing an FTP or something, if you're maintaining a website, so you're uploading and downloading some files, maybe not so good.
that isn't good. Now, could it be a faulty hardware?
Well, that's what I thought. So I went back to the shop and I exchanged it for another one, and same problem.
Did they give you any reasons? Or
No,
anything?
the store was unhelpful. Let me rephrase that. The store was very helpful but unknowledgeable about this problem. However, if you look on the internet, this is a known issue, and we are all seeing the promise in this device. It's so small. The internal battery lasts for 4 hours, so it doesn't draw power from your computer over Wi-Fi, obviously. But on the internet, this is a known problem, and we're all waiting for the firmware upgrade, hopefully, which will fix it.
So just to wrap this up,
Yes.
I know a lot of people with cell phones now are eschewing their landlines,
Right.
saying, I'll just use my cell phone, that's all I need it for.
Yep.
Could this be a device which you would say, I don't need my internet connection anymore, I could just use this?
You potentially, but you would want to consider it. If you're going to use it for something you wanted to rely on, then you'd have to consider that you were going to use it in that
Connected,
USB mode,
right.
And the 5 gig limit.
And can you get one without a limit, an unlimited plan like you can with cell phones?
No, I have not seen that kind of a plan.
Okay. So I'm very lucky. I have a USB stick that goes in my computer,
Yeah.
and I think I'm grandfathered in because my contract didn't have a limit. And I've used it for BitTorrent and all that kind of stuff, and I never see any usage charges on my bill. But
Wow.
I think that's because I've had it for 2 years. I think they've gotten smart, you know.
Right.
All right, so that is the Verizon MiFi, a cute little device. Has the very small and portable, but still has a few bugs.
Yeah.
The biggest being that it disconnects from the cell phone network, even if you're stationary.
Yes.
When you are connected with Wi-Fi.
With
connected
Wi-Fi,
router.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Don't know if you can hear that. Got a weed whacker going on outside. Anyway, we've got another review spotlight coming up in a second, so please stay tuned.
Thanks.
And we're back in the second spotlight today. We're going to be looking at this, which is the PowerCost monitor from Blueline Innovations. It consists of this little device here and the little party hat over there. Yes, very, very nice. Okay. God, I thought you weren't going to embarrass me.
You should have known better.
Yes. Daniel, why don't you tell us what this is and what it does?
All right. So if you live where I live in Honolulu and electricity is 32 cents a kilowatt hour last summer, I must admit it's gone down a bit since then, you start to get worried about the size of your electricity bill.
That is pricey.
And this device clips onto the electricity meter, and you don't have to make any connections to it. It just kind of clips on, and there's a number of different ways that it finds out how fast your electricity meter is going.
Because all modern meters now have a little port on them where they can be read by
That's right.
an infrared device. And this has a little infrared pickup.
Yes.
So it sits on your power meter and it reads your meter as it's running.
Yeah, and there's a couple of different kinds of meters. My understanding is this covers all of them.
Right.
Then you sit this inside in your kitchen, and it tells you how much electricity you're using. And we found it very useful in just figuring out when our air conditioning was running when it didn't need to be, and when it flashes at you that you're using $2.50 an hour of electricity right now, that's a reminder that something's on that shouldn't be on.
Right, so if everyone takes a look at this, I don't know if you can see, there we go, you can see it right there. It's got $1 per hour, which right now is 0 because of course it's not longer attached, but normally during the day this will say $2 an hour, $1 an hour, 50 cents an hour, depending of course on whether it's peak time, off-peak time. And then down here it says $176, that's I guess a monthly total.
That's just a running total.
A running total.
Yeah, you can reset it.
And then it's got temperature and time. Oh, it's got temperature, so you know how warm it is outside too.
So the nice thing is it updates very quickly. Every 10 or 15 seconds it'll tell you.
It's wireless, right?
It's completely wireless. Every 10 or 15 seconds it'll tell you how much electricity you're using right now. So, if you've always wondered how much does it cost to do a load of laundry or to run the dryer or to run this air conditioner but not that one, or when the pool pump is running or the pool heater, that kind of thing, or this set of lights in the living room, it just tells you, and it tells you in dollars, which in many respects is the most interesting figure.
Now, I hooked this up to my system as well, and it ran it, and I found that I ran it for about a week and then never looked at it again. I mean, maybe it's because, maybe I would every once in a while, but once you kind of know, you sort of know. I
agree with that. I can tell you that we reduced our electricity bill by about 20% without really feeling the pinch. We haven't really been economizing. We've just been slightly smarter about how we run things. And even in that first couple of weeks of learning about that, the unit more than paid for itself.
So especially in somewhere like Honolulu where you've got, and do you have on-peak and off-peak times?
We don't.
Okay, so I found the other issue is it does take a little bit of setup. Because for us, I had to go get a bill, figure out where my on-peak times. Maybe I should know that stuff already. I don't know, but I don't know when my on-peak times are.
It helps to teach you when your on and off-peak times are.
Right, that is true. In fact, we adjusted our pool schedule so that the pool cleaner ran more on the off-peak time than the on-peak time. Have you ever used the appliance mode on here?
No, I don't know what that is.
Well, so this is kind of neat. It has an appliance mode, and basically what you do is, if you want to figure out how much one appliance is using, let's say you get a new dryer, and you want to say just how much is this new dryer using. What you do is you get the house running a certain way, you hit the appliance button, and then you turn on the dryer without turning on anything else in the house. And you let that run for 10 minutes. And then you hit it again. And what it does is it subtracts out the rest of the house, which it knew from before you started the dryer, and it just tells you, here's how much your dryer is using. So from that, without, again, plugging anything else in or any wires, it will tell you just how much one particular appliance is using.
That's interesting. I don't think mine has that. I have an older version of this. And
got the newer
send him the good stuff.
Yes, got the upgraded model.
Been that way.
Well, that's great. So that's a big thumbs up for you, I guess.
Absolutely.
Especially if you live in a place with pricey electricity, or if you just want to conserve.
That's it.
That is apparently it. That is the Blueline Innovations PowerCost monitor. This is the 28,000 model. And it comes with a sensor unit.
Button.
Yes, with the appliance button, which you may not have. But go check that out and see what you think. And that's all the time we have for the show today. But if you have any questions or comments, let us know at www.neo-fight.tv. And I would just like to say thanks, Dan, for joining us again today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, wonderful to have you. Next time you're in town from Hawaii or your travels, we'll have to get you back on the show.
And we should do a version from my home in Honolulu one day.
We should definitely. I'll come to Hawaii and we'll do a version there.
Do it.
Excellent. And if you have an extra 30 seconds, take a look at this.
Hey, I'm Andy Walker. Have you just bought a new computer with Windows Vista on it? Or maybe you've got an old XP computer that you're upgraded. Well, we've just created an amazing new DVD that'll teach you everything you need to know about the new operating system from Microsoft. It's called Getting Started with Windows Vista. In this DVD, there are 3 sections. One is out of the box, what you need to do as soon as you start up Vista. Number 2 is Vista Essentials, things you need to know every day to make your computer experience amazing. Antivirus, security, all kinds of new features that Vista offers. And finally, Geek Tips and Tricks, things you need to know that nobody else will have told you that make you a Vista guru. For more information, check out our website at gettingstartedvideo.com.